Good evening. Hope we got it right there. I mean, well, like evening. It was like good evening. We never know when we actually go live. We don't want to be like that couple that's like goes live and they sit there like this.
Hey, Grammy Karen.
It's just the awkward silence.
Gary Walker. Rebecca Stanley, The Delightful Cottage, Simply Southern Roots. How are y'all? Never enough time. It's a pretty cool night in South Mississippi tonight.
Yeah,
actually.
It really is. It's actually miserably cold.
Hey, Stacy.
Miserably cold for us, I guess you could say.
I wouldn't say miserably cold, but
it was pretty chilly.
It was pretty cool. But at least our fireplace will be able to get back going.
I know. My wife.
She demanded that the fireplace be cleaned out. And actually.
Not like cleaned. I'm talking about like chimney cleaned out.
Yeah, like the chimney cleaning. So he said it was filthy.
She was throwing stuff.
No, I wasn't.
Breaking things, telling me if I didn't do it, throwing the chairs at it.
Anyway, he said that it was really bad. So it was well overdue. So I'm glad that we did.
We didn't hear how long?
6 years, and we've never had it cleaned out.
Never had it cleaned,
So he said, you probably don't need to wait any longer than 2 years.
He's over at 7.
He said it was really bad.
And
I was like, well, thank you for being honest with us. I figured it was. So.
Hey, Miss Sherry, how are you?
I should have gotten some water before I left here.
I'll go get you some. What temps are miserably cold? Oh, I called Misty today and I said, I'm glad he's cleaning out the chimney because the high today was 49. And I said the lows will be in like 30s and then tomorrow's going to be like 20s. So don't make fun of us.
Yeah, it is going to get colder over the weekend. Don't make fun of us.
Yeah, Gary, we need to prevent those fires for sure.
Yeah, and
we got a double flume, so it's not an issue to me as much as the buildup. It's the smell that it does, things like that.
Hey, Karen. The buildup is flammable as well, but for us, the reason why I was like, okay, you're not setting another fire in this house until it's cleaned out is because. Like when we would light a fire and then we would be ready for it to go down so I could clean it out, like because it warmed up again or whatever. We know y'all don't have that problem in the north. It doesn't warm up in your winter, but here it goes from hot to cold. Thank you. And when I would be letting it die down, like if it wasn't super sunny or if it drizzled rain or whatever, it would smell like a fireplace in here.
Hey, Miss Sue.
And we chased a bird through the house this past fall. Because we had chimney sweeps, and I said we are not doing that again.
That was the one time we didn't have our camera going at supper. Like the kids went crazy. Misty was going crazy. They thought it was a bat, so they were freaking out like nuts.
But it was just a bird. But it flew into the wall and injured itself, so we were able to get it pretty quick. But we fixed all that. So we're very glad of that. I said we're not lighting another fire till we get this fixed. So that kind of put the fire under his rear end.
She laid down the line. Hey, Gary.
I had a bird in my office. That's not good. Well, the good thing is he was able to get up there and put a cap on it. Not one that, because I was concerned about, well, if you cap it off, like then we're going to be right. We're going to be like climbing. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But actually, it's pretty cool because it's lifted up off the top, but it's got a net around it where nothing can get in. But then it's got a covering on the top where rain can't get in your chimney too, which was really good.
Hey, Miss Penny.
But the smell was what was so bad, and it was only like after it rained and stuff like that. So. But we got all that stuff fixed, so it'll be ready to go again.
She's been laying down the line, getting stuff done. I guess since it's been Christmas, it's our anniversary Christmas, then her birthday. So she's got like 2 months of just whatever she wants. That's really 12 months.
And Valentine's Day.
I know. 12 months of whatever she wants, really. That's how it really goes. Hey, Rocky Homestead. Hey, Roxanne.
Sorry about the calf. Yeah, last week we had mentioned on the live that we had a not great afternoon. That was the afternoon that Colby just said, today's the day. We just gotta, we don't want to. It's not something we want to do, but we're gonna have to do it. And that's just something that's always fun. So
there was only a few people that caught, I think, our bull calf's name. Can anybody tell me what our bull calf's name is? There's a few that thought it was hilarious when they actually found it. So, we name ours ABC. They're in alphabetical order. So we were at a certain letter. Does anybody know what the bull's name actually is? Hey, Thistle Grammy. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Terry. Can anybody tell us what the bull's name is? There's a few that called it because they actually joked about it.
The cat.
Quarantina. Yep, Hallie.
The calf's name was Macy.
Yeah. Quarantino. So we named it after the wonderful 2020 that we were having. And he was born during quarantine. He was May 2020. And we needed a Q. So we were like, what name are we going to name Q?
I was thinking like Mr. Q.
Yeah. And it was like, really, everybody was, I can't remember which daughter was, they're like, quarantine. That worked out perfect. So
that's So I told
hey Jeff,
I was like, Colby, it's your cow. Naming that's what he got for Christmas because he wanted that breed of cow. So I kind of went. He had been looking at this one.
I've been looking at that one for a while actually.
But
since it's been born.
I kind of went behind his back
and
spoke for it, and we picked it up the weekend. No, the next. When did we get that cow?
The Sunday after, I think.
Yeah, after Christmas. So we went and picked him up.
Hey, Heather. Hey, old lady Delaney.
So now he will be able to have 2 mamas and then the bull.
What are you talking about?
With Quarantino, you'll have the 2 mamas and him.
Oh, yeah. Talking about our Herefords?
To breed, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to let him breed some of our heifers, like Aiden's heifer and things like that. But
which they're
really
bred now. They're bred now, and they're supposed to calve.
No, you're talking about the Anguses are. I'm talking about Aiden's little one and all their babies.
But I'm talking about the Herefords.
Oh yeah, the Herefords are bred. They're actually supposed to calf the end of this month or first of next month. So we're actually going to be bringing them to the farm. So that video is going to be coming up over the probably next 2 weeks. I don't think I'll be this week. It'll probably be next week.
But it'll be a little gap because by the time they calf, they wean, and then he's old enough to breed again. I mean, it'll be
right on.
Are you sure? Because
he needs. Well,
he'll
be on. He'll probably be their 3rd calf. He'll probably produce their 3rd calf.
So, but that's. I mean, that's good, and they'll all be.
Mr. Larry.
They'll be considered a registered herd.
Yeah, all of them are registered.
So.
Hey Josie. Hey Miss Rebecca. Sherry said, "How is the baby doing?"
She is doing good, and she's a sweet baby too. We were discussing that earlier. The kids are because the boys have a rap for being crybabies. Aiden and Jennings they were just not great babies.
Aiden was a phenomenal toddler, but he was a bad baby.
He was the worst newborn. Just cried all the time. He was not content with anything that we did.
We tried to give him back. They wouldn't take him.
And Jennings run a pretty close line to that. So, hey, from Flowood. So the girls Ellie was probably our most laid back baby. And so far, we would say Livy is giving her a pretty close run for her money. She only cries when she's hungry or when she's sleepy. So I can't complain about that at all.
Gary says when we get the W, we need to name it Walker for Walker Farm.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Oh, you know what, LaToya, Livy has not been a bad sleeper. She moves a little bit, so it makes Misty wake up when she moves. But she's not a crying baby.
I have that mother nature. He does not. He snores all night. No, seriously. She sleeps like a rock during the day or like a baby. She literally sleeps like a baby.
Hey, Connie and Justin.
She doesn't move during the day. Hey, like, we can put her down on the floor. We can put her in her bed. She doesn't move. She sleeps just passes out. But at night,
she just likes to move a little bit.
She's fidgety. Like she doesn't love to be swaddled. But if I don't swaddle her, then she's constantly either hitting me with her hand or scratching her face. So she's just constantly moving at night. And when she moves a pinky, it wakes me up. So I have a hard time sleeping hard when she's moving a lot. But I'll be honest, last night was probably the best night that we did because she woke me up at 12 and 4.
You know what's so funny is
I cannot complain about that.
I fell asleep on the couch with JJ last night, So I took him to bed, and all this stuff going on with our news and all. So for some reason, I just got like to where I couldn't go back to sleep. So it was like 2:30. Everybody's asleep, even the baby, and here I am sitting up, wondering why I can't go back to sleep. So
Are y'all having weird weather there? Mississippi weather is always weird.
it is every day weird. We're actually having winter right now, so that's pretty good. Hey Jennifer, how are you?
It goes from like cold to like burning hot, like within a day.
I mean, the weird thing.
So it's always weird here.
We literally will have frost on the ground in the mornings, and then get up to 70 during the day, then to have frost again at night. That is like crazy weather. But that's what Mississippi's for, and there's a lot of Mississippi folks in here.
We're glad you joined us, Miss Penny, tonight.
Let's see. You never know the weather here. Yeah, that's right. Sherry's from here too, so it's terrible. It's crazy. It's just nuts.
It really is.
So Misty's got our "We'll Work for Food" shirt on. We actually got a new order. Hers is a little faded.
Mine's very faded, but I wear it a lot.
We have 2 shirts going back, being able to sell. We'll feature those in probably one of the next videos because we have some to sell. They actually do really well. You want me to go get one? Because yours is kind of
We'll Work for Food, and then it's a square with some vegetables in the middle. The lighting here is not good. We're sitting like right under a spotlight, which is, I've told Colby a million times, I hate this lighting.
Hey, Swarmstead. Hey, Rehab Life. My favorite's the other one. It says, "This is how we roll," and it's a wheelbarrow rolling.
With the same vegetables in the wheelbarrow.
It's kind of punny. I think it's kind of cute. Hey, man, what's up, man? It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. Pretty good year so far. The baby's safe and healthy, and Misty's safe and healthy. And one of our children just had their birthday yesterday, so we got to celebrate one of our birthdays of the mini. So we had a good day. Are your chickens laying? Marge, that's coming out in the next video. They are doing better. And again, the things they are laying a little bit. I think the issue is going to be just upping their protein during the winter months. That's our goal, and that's what's helped with some of that. Southern Bliss Homestead, what's going on from North Mississippi?
Our chickens, how many years? At least more than 10.
Oh, yeah.
Have never stopped laying in the winter, which is what and I know a lot of people do, but we have always done things like kept a heat lamp in their coop, in their laying boxes.
Yeah, Fancy Farmer, y'all be safe up there.
We've always, oh yeah.
Be safe up there. Doing redneck things and off grid. How are you? Anna,
so we've never really lost that production of eggs in the winter until this year. And we thought maybe in the early fall, in the early winter time, we had some that were molten. We have some that are not old enough to lay, and then we have some that are really old. So we thought we were just hitting all of that together. Our older ones are just not laying. Our younger ones are just too young to lay, and then our layers were actually molten. So we thought that was probably the majority of the problem. But then when it continued, we thought, well, I think
it's a feed issue, really, because they wasn't used to that. We're used to doing a 22%, and then we went to a 16%. Because we went to a different organic feed.
Organic non-GMO feed, which we changed the late summer, early fall. Isn't that when we?
Yeah, I can't remember. Sometime around there, yeah.
Midsummer, late summer, somewhere like that. So probably a combination of several things.
Rehab Life, we use a 3-way scratch and also a 16% Purina non-GMO organic feed. We were buying a different kind, and we liked it probably a little bit better. I think it was a Neutrina. But to be honest with you, I can't buy it in bulk. So it was harder for me to keep. And see, we're not around feed mill. Excuse me. We're around tons of feed mills around here.
But they're all commercial.
But they're all conventional.
Which is what we were trying to get away from.
Yeah, so we can pick up local feed grain all the time, but it's not organic or not GMO. It's all conventional, sprayed.
Fancy Farmer, the baby's great. We were saying earlier that she really is, so far, she really is a good baby. So.
Misty, see, you did good on Colby's haircut. This is about her 5th or 6th time to cut it, probably, isn't it?
I don't like cutting their hair.
I'm not one of those men. The girls are
super easy.
I'm not one of those men that get really worry about my hair. I'm just not that kind of person.
It grows back to like a mop and my hair is
real thick, so you can't really mess it up. I mean, if you cut it wrong, nobody can tell it anyway. So I always tell her, don't freak out, just do it. Just cut it.
I don't like cutting the guy's hair though. His mom cuts hair for a living, and I've told them a million times, like, I need her to teach
Miss
me
Vicky.
how to do it the right way. Because I've watched several YouTube videos, but there's only so much you can get from a YouTube video when you can't ask questions. And Aiden's hair is really thick like Colby's, but has a completely different texture. So it's just, I don't like cutting the boys' hair, but the girls are super easy.
Yeah, so we noticed the protein. Anytime we lowered the protein, or we're not doing more giving in the winter. Now in the summer it was no big deal, but in the winter it seems like our protein needs to go up actually more than normal. Hey, Miss Cecilia, better late than never. That's right. We're not too far on, Miss Leslie. So
yeah, I think it's great that you can do that at home. I mean, if you think $10 per our family,
it's $12 to $15 here in town.
Yeah, per family member. I mean, every
it's like 20
weeks, 2 weeks for the boys, and say 8 weeks for the girls.
We don't cut our hair that much though.
That's saving a lot of money every time. But I don't like to cut their hair because I'm self-taught. I had to teach myself how to do it.
We're self-taught in everything. So what are you talking about? That's just another step.
I know, but you wear your hair out everywhere.
I could care less.
I know, but still.
Oh, I could care less.
Jennings is easy to cut, but it's hard because he won't be still.
He just moves the whole time.
So when y'all saw me with the kind of a not happy face in the video, it's because I had been like trying to force him to sit down and be still.
She's putting him in a headlock.
Actually, I did make Colby put him in the headlock for a minute because he did make me mess up one side just a little bit. But again, his does grow fast too. But
I told her she should have put those little lines in there like Vanilla Ice. I thought that looked.
He almost had that behind his ears. In all seriousness.
So, the new bull calf, you see him. We'll be bringing the other two Herefords here. So we're excited about that. If you noticed our last video, Minnie, one of our
$30. Holy
my gosh, $30 for a haircut. I would pass out. The sheep, Minnie and Daisy, the two girls, Minnie is about to pop. I mean, it is just I'd say a week or so. I mean, she's just that close. Daisy is getting closer, but she's the youngest of those two. But I'm telling you, I think she's, Misty, we were wondering who was going to win, and Misty, of course, won, but they're very, very close. Minnie is very, very close. So we're excited about that. Also, we have this week, you're going to see some pig videos for sure on some butchering and sausages and things like that. So we'll have that going. I come up with a new, okay, so we have our smokehouse. We came up with a new way to make sure we could have more heat rolling in there. So keep up for that video this week too. It's going to be a great how-to on this video. They charge $70 for a haircut. Oh my gosh. I'd cry my eyes out. That's nuts. I think when I used to pay $12, I'd be so upset.
There are some places here that charge that much for women's style, I guess you could say. But men here are usually a whole lot cheaper.
12 to 15 is common here, I guess.
But I also learned how to cut my own hair too, so
I couldn't imagine cutting. I couldn't imagine paying. I don't even like paying $12 for a haircut. I guess I'm cheap.
Cassie is self-taught. She only cut my hair once though.
Oh, come on, Gary. Just embrace it.
I'm definitely self-taught
just
too.
Embrace
but
it.
I will say I watched a bunch of videos on how to cut men's hair. Because like I said, the girls are super easy, but the guys are harder, which is crazy because here women's haircuts are colorings or styles or whatever are way more expensive than men's, which I think men's are way harder to do than women. So
thank you for that, Miss Pat. That means a lot. Yeah, it's going to be a rainy day tomorrow in Mississippi. You're right, Southern Bless Homestead. We were actually doing some work trying to get some stuff done. I got to put out some hay tomorrow morning, so I'm anxious to try to do that before. Jennifer says they paid $35 plus kids vary from 15 to 25 a haircut. Goodness gracious.
That was easy before retirement, but just a buzz.
Just a buzz. Let's see. my wife spends nearly $60 to $100 when she goes rehab life. I'll pray for you later.
Yeah, I also watched some videos to learn how to cut my own, because that's very average for women around here in our stylist areas, and I can't bring myself to pay that for a haircut.
I tell you what, we've gotten to where, I mean, you know, we're homesteaders, we're farmers, but we've gotten to where we watch More the Merrier vlogs. If y'all ever watch them, they cut their hair all the time.
They're a great family.
They're a great family and a fun vlog to watch, and my kids love them, but they do a lot of haircut things and for the girls, and so the girls just absolutely love it. Have you heard the unicorns? Either Ellie or Sayla was talking about mama cutting a unicorn.
They were I don't think you got any of that on camera.
I got a little piece of it, I think. I'm not sure. Let's see. Hey, no more milking, sleep in time. I think I sleep less now. Like last night, I couldn't go back to sleep. And then I think Misty, she used to say, okay, I'll hold the baby for a little bit longer while he milks. And so then I would milk, and then I usually would work out. Now, since I don't milk, Misty's like, well, you can go and get the baby. So usually around 4:30, I'm on baby duty anyway. This morning was close to 4:45.
That's the only time that I can. Yeah, but how soon do you bring her back to me?
I will say this though,
within an hour.
No,
I sleep for a whole hour.
No, you don't. You sleep till like 6:30 or 7. Listen,
but
what's so funny? No, I gotta tell you this. When Misty gives me the baby, it's like before she's like that. We have a little lamp we leave on because the baby, you know, is asleep. So she's like, turn the lamp off. By the time I turn the lamp off, she's like asleep. And when I say she is out, she's out.
It's the only time, though, in all seriousness, that I can sleep. Like, I can just let myself go into a deep sleep because I don't have to worry about her. Does that make sense? When she's with me, I sleep so light that it's not a deep, peaceful sleep. So even though I might be sleeping, it's just not the same as when I pass her off, then it's just like,
I know, like
I just die.
So then, you know, we wake up our kids just to kind of sit.
It's that sleeping like a rock time.
So when Misty's getting up, I'm usually, you know, getting ready for work or whatever. So I'll tell the kids, like Aiden and Harley being here, I said, I'm gonna put her in a swing, just watch her, or either let me go let Misty nurse her before I come back. Like when I wake Misty up at that time, it's just like, because she's been out for those 2 or 3 hours of hard sleep with no baby, so it's pretty funny.
Which sometimes it's like, I've had her for an hour and she needs to eat.
Well, because if the kids get her, they're going to bring her back in like 5 minutes. Marge, if you do want a Max t-shirt, just reach out to us via email or on one of the videos, make a comment, or Facebook.
Yeah.
They're pretty awesome. I will say that. Drops Family says, the first 2 weeks, my wife made me do baby duty. Hey, when Aiden was born, we were on 2-hour increments. We
took 2-hour shifts.
So we started, when I got home, I was working till 5. At 5 o'clock, that shift started. So 5 to 7, 7 to 9, 9 to 11, 11 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7. That's what we did every night.
For about 6 months.
I mean, it was literally, I watched so much.
So when I said he was a terrible newborn.
And, you know, nothing plays but like infomercials during the night. But we were trying to stay up, and it was terrible. It was terrible. Hey, Kelly, how are you?
Yep. And I said when we got pregnant the next time, which was with Harley, I said, if she is anything like that, we are never having another child. Because it was tough. That was just hard to do. But
hey, Sean, Alaska, what's up, man?
He turned 6 months and started sitting up and was the best kid ever. Played.
Been working ever since.
He's busy, but you know, Jennings is the same way, right?
Yeah.
That we have a little bit of work going on at the house, and one of the guys that was here today said, "Does he ever stop moving?" Said, no.
Hey, Miss Sonia.
No, he doesn't.
I don't know. We've not really had our 6th child really show her personality yet, but all our kids are pretty much movers, except for one. One tends to be cool, collect, and laid back.
Yep.
Other than that, everybody's moving.
Yeah.
Thank you for posting our links, Miss Kathy. Very, very much. So, I don't know if y'all ready for pig videos. They're coming up, though, because we're going to be butchering some pigs. So we probably got 2 or 3 videos, and you're going to see some smoking videos pretty soon, too.
I think Aiden is the most happy.
About what? Oh, not feeding the pigs. Oh,
No,
he's still
it's
feeding the
because
pigs, but
y'all saw in the last video what they do to their paddocks with their big
oh my
water
gosh.
container.
Hey, Miss Mariah.
Every single day they would knock it over, or I mean, it was just they were just.
Well, we usually put
they
them
were
on a
like
tree,
pigs
but
with ADHD.
they were like pigs.
I know, but they were like they never stopped moving. They were just rough. They were just crazy. They were like pigs with ADHD.
The thing about it, the last few times we moved them, we could not hook to a tree because where they were not close to a tree, and we were trying to keep them closer to the road so we could, be able to get them when we were taken to butcher.
Jennifer Aiden was the
slaughter.
same way.
Hey, Miss C. But they did great, and it took us, and you'll see in this video when we post it. Our pigs loaded, and I kid you not. I promise you not. I told Aiden, let's hook to the trailer. So we hooked the trailer up because we don't have a scalding vat. So basically, we take somewhere to to slaughter and scald. Okay, so and then we're hanging on freezing right now to be able to butcher, but to break down in primals. But these pigs, from being in the net to getting in our trailer, we have a lower trailer. We bought it low for that purpose for pigs and cattle. It took less than a minute and a half to get them loaded, and that's putting up another pig net to get them into. So it was phenomenal. These pigs were used to moving. If you got your pigs used to moving, they'll do what you want, especially with feed. And we just put that bucket in there, and they literally hopped right in there. It took less than a minute and a half to load up our pigs.
The boys were definitely harder, but we had a lot of pigs.
Yeah, we were trying to weed out 7 pigs. We 3 out of 7.
Just right.
This one, we didn't even do it close to where they were. We brought them straight back, and it worked out great. Yep. Rehab Life, we are looking for a stainless steel drum.
He asked a question earlier about how reliable are the fences. Noticed they were grounded out because of the rain. You have to remember, too, that I
got some pros and cons. Hold on for that, too.
The part of the forest that they're in, not only are we not getting full sun like you would in the summer, but they're also in an area of the forest where the charger's not in the sun all the time either.
Well, it's winter too, so you're not exposed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not like the summer where it's full sun, and because they're in the forest, you're getting some shade even in some of this
Rehab Life sun that we're getting. We are looking for a stainless steel vat, but if I got a gambrel that will hold them up now. So worse and worse, we can just get them out. Okay, Drops family. What Misty was talking about just then. The pig nets. Let me tell you about these. The pig nets are worth their weight in gold. If you train them right to hot net, this is the best net on the market. Premier One hog net. There's 3 versions: quick pig, pig net, and then hog net. We got the hog net. It's phenomenal. However, when you're moving them in the little forest like we are, when you're in a hardwood forest or you have a good cleaned underneath, like a good bramble clean already, it's not bad. But those nets are very light. Unlike the sheep and cattle and chicken nets, the chicken nets do well in that. The pig nets are very, very light. So any little twig that gets on them can ground them out or can get them a little weak on the top because, they're not high. It's not meant to make the pig where the pig can't jump over. It's meant to make it where their snout touches it and lights them up. And that's what they typically do. But if they see one little way out, a pig will find a way out. So the thing about us running them in the forest, when we're on the bigger pine forest like we've had, it works out phenomenal. In this little pine forest where you have a lot of like branches falling and just kind of random mess underneath those little pines because they're so little and weak, they tend to be harder to run in. We still do it. But it can be very much an agitation.
And your breed is something else to consider because our American guinea hogs don't root like the pink pigs did. Mm-hmm. So the pink pigs were constantly tilling ground, and the more they till, if they're tilling that dirt on the bottom of the net,
they know it's not working, Missy. You're right.
Yeah.
Keep going.
They're tilling that dirt on the bottom of the net. It also grounds it out too. But our American guinea hogs don't root like the pink ones did, the Yorkshire blue butts. But again, that's why I said that they were like pigs with ADHD because they're constantly moving and constantly pushing and push the food dish into yes.
Yeah, that's why we don't do the food dish like that.
That's one of the reasons why
hey, Suzanne Rush.
We started strapping the when
To a
they were
tree.
in the forest, we would strap their water to the tree because they knew to knock it over and push it on the net.
Hey, what was funny though
They're
is
smarter than you give them credit
they're
for.
very smart. And you can go back and watch some of our videos of the front forest, the bigger pines they were in. I kid you not. We had 5. We started out with 5 Berkshires or 4 or 5 Yorkshires. Sorry. The weakest link,
Hey,
the
Miss
smallest
Suzanne.
one. I kid you not. When they were testing the net, they would let that small one get on the net and get hit hard, and then all the rest of them knew how to jump over him and get out. They would let the weakest link
That's when
be
they
the
were
guinea
little.
pig. I mean, literally be the guinea pig.
That's when they
and
were
hit it.
little.
Yep.
And they are smarter than you give them credit
They
for.
are so smart.
I can
So
assure you.
they would make the small one. They'd run the small one into the net, and he'd get hit, and then they would use him as a jumping post. I mean, it was the craziest thing. I've never seen anything like it. Or either they'd learn to get under it at that point, but they'd let him hit the shot while they jumped. So it was funny.
Thank you, Miss Kim.
She's beautiful. She don't need none of it. She gets mad at me. I brag on her all the time. Let's see. Trying to catch up. Hey, Miss Jan, how are you?
But Aiden for sure is probably the happiest of all with them being gone because of the water situation
probably.
And which, of course, that's 2 less that he has to worry with.
Diana, thank you so much, Miss Diana. That means so much for your super chat. Very thankful for that.
Yes, thank you so much. He's probably the most excited because they're so hyper and crazy, and they were always knocking over the water. And if y'all know where the sheep and the pig and the section of bees are, they're really far away from the house, and he has to deal with that. When he goes out and does his chores, it's part of his responsibility.
At the very furthest, well, they're not the very first front, but almost the very furthest field.
And the easy thing with the sheep is you can fill their water bucket up with just a 5-gallon bucket of water. You can fill it up
like 3 days to empty it too.
Yeah, it does.
Amazing.
But then the pigs was it's huge, and it's like an everyday thing.
It is.
Yes, and you're very right. We are very blessed to have Aiden. He's
a huge help here. So.
A great, hopefully raising him up to be a great, responsible.
I laugh at him. I think it's funny because there's days he's gung ho farm though. He'll go out there and every little detail is to the T. He does great, and I'm a perfectionist, and so is Misty. So we look for everything to be done. And then there's days like today when he knows. He's just not. It's cold. He doesn't want to be out there. So there's days I have to kind of just, hey, you get this done, get this done. So we'll question him. There's sometimes he might miss a few little things here and there, but man, without him, I don't know what we'd do. We'd be in a bind. Drop said, "I'll trade you. I can't get my teenager to do nothing. We incentivize, or he has to do it. It's not a choice."
I was gonna say it's not a choice, but he is rewarded for his work.
Definitely.
He is rewarded, and he's been saving up to buy a guitar, and he's almost got enough money to do that. So, and that's another thing that I'm very glad of. It's a very big expense, and he he's been working for what he wants.
And said they're all city boys that die. It does teach work ethic. I think that's
and responsibility, and then
we always try to teach our kids life skills, and we've talked about this before. So our kids are in life skill things such as music. I know how to play guitar, so Aiden learned guitar. Our girls are learning piano, and Aiden's actually learning piano too. We were in karate, very heavy for years. So our goal is to teach life skills, and through that makes a work ethic, because when Aiden trains with his karate, like we did together, it allowed us to have fun together. But it taught him that sometimes you have to do things because you don't want to, but it's good for your body. Well, farming is the same way, and I think that's helped him be a better farm kid. I told him he needs to do his own YouTube channel because he really would do good, because everybody always asks about it.
He's camera shy.
He's camera shy. He does so well. Even days when he doesn't want to, he'll still do it. Like there's times if I know it's going to rain, I'll say, Aiden, there's just no way I can get done. Is there any way you can get out there and just do that? And it's an extra chore, something that is not part of his normal, routine. And of course, he's always, yes, sir, I'll go do it. So we couldn't do it without him. He's phenomenal. Hey, Miss Pamela, how are you?
Answered the question about the flow hive, because we've discussed that before. Our opinion on the flow hive.
Who asked that?
It's on up.
I might have missed the question. I'm sorry.
No, it's not that far up. It was like right. Does anyone know if the flow beehive is easy as it looks?
All right, a few things. Flow hives are easy. You're correct. Flow hives tend to drain your hives and make your hives more vulnerable. Now, if other people have more opinions on that, this is just the max opinion. We have raised anywhere from 12 to 25 hives the last 3 years, 4 years.
25.
We've
Really
had
gotten that much?
That's when we were to a point where I'm like, please, somebody swarm. Talking about nukes and all, but we were raising on average 12 to 15 is common for us. Flow hives, and I had a friend that did this. They were a local person that was tied to our church, was bragging like, "Oh, these flow hives are so easy. I don't have to move boxes." And every season, he dealt with wax moths and lost his bees because what it does, it makes your hive vulnerable. It does not leave enough honey. It does not give the queen the benefit because all that runs right out of her hive. What we tend to do, and I don't even like doing a single stack deep. I always do a double stack deep. And I know if you watch a lot of people don't watch our bee videos, but our bee videos, I love doing bees. When you have the double deeps and you don't take
Unless
and rob, I do get stung a lot, and you don't rob as much, your queen and your hive stays stronger. The flow hives feels like it robs a little too much, I think, and it always makes your bees weak. That's just my opinion. Hey Hank, thank you, man. So that's my 2 cents on the flow hives. Not saying they're not worth it. If you're worried about the heaviness or dealing with the labor of a Langstroth hive, which is what we do, which is the deeps and the lights, go with the hive body that's horizontal hive body.
Didn't the Aldermans?
The Aldermans did that. It's very common. Having who else does that? There's a lot of people that do the horizontal hives. To me, I don't like the horizontal hives as much because I feel like you're wasting a lot of space, which could mean for more hive beetles and wax moths, especially in our area because we're very moist, humid. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but if you're worried about lifting a 40 or 50 pound thing of bees up,
they are heavy.
They're heavy.
They can
Misty
be heavy.
can't. I mean, if Misty had to lift a shallow, she could do it straining, but she couldn't lift a deep. I mean, it would
not full.
It's too big.
Not full of bees,
So
full of honey.
A lot of people try to stay away from those hives because they worry about that aspect of it. If you're worried about that, get a horizontal hive. Personally, it's not that I'm against them. I think they're awesome because they're very easy. But
especially if you have the space,
right?
Always start off with 2.
Always.
But if you wanted to do that and you had the room to do 2, then that would be an option that maybe you could start learning to do.
Right. I love bees though. Spring you'll see a lot more bee videos.
Scroll back down so I can try to keep up with if we see any comments or anything. So we just wanted to make sure we addressed that because we didn't have, I don't know.
And see, for instance, I didn't tell you this other day. One of our hives on the backside by the sheep, I know I have not seen any activity, so I figure it's gone. It's the one that we picked. One of the ones we picked up from that rescue down there.
Where'd you put it at?
It's over there by the sheep.
The one that's off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed that the other day. Mm-hmm. We actually stopped because every now and then I'll stop and just look at them, and I didn't see any bees coming in and out. And I told Aiden, I said, "I bet you we've lost that one right there." So
Lisa, I always get stung. I get stung no matter how much gear I have on. I'm going to get stung. Mm-hmm. Missy hardly ever gets stung. Hey Amanda, how are you?
The only time that I got stung that was really bad is when I stepped on the one on the porch. They like to come to our pool or saltwater pool, and we had been swimming, and I come across the porch and stepped on one, and my foot swole terribly. And I said after that, a lot of y'all have been on our chats before. Y'all heard me say I used to kind of laugh at Colby when he would get stung, which I know is not nice. Make
fun of Colby when he got stung.
But I said after that, I said, I'm so sorry. I will never laugh at you because he always swells like that. That was the first time I had ever swollen like that. And I've gotten stung a few times. I've gotten stung in my head, and I got stung on my arm one time. But it would always be like an ant bite that would itch afterwards. But when I stepped on that one on the porch, my whole foot.
If you follow us on Facebook, you'll see a lot of my stings. They were from leg swelling to like eye shut.
swollen.
I laugh because Tim Roberts with the Rich Life the other day, which usually is on here, he got hit the other day right there on the side of the eye, and it reminded. It was just, it's funny when you see other people do it, but it hurts when it happens to you. So. Yeah, you are correct, Drops family. The more I got stung, the more, some people are like, oh, the more you get stung, the more you're used to it. Bull. The more I got stung, the more susceptible to swelling I had. So I still swell more and more every time.
Well, I had to apologize to him for laughing at him because I did not realize how bad, like I could not even walk. It was terrible. I had to walk on the side of my foot and it throbbed. And I had to apologize to him because I did not realize that it hurt that bad when they swelled up that bad.
Amanda says, Misty, I love your how-to videos. They're my fave.
I actually have been using our diaper rash
our baby
ointment with the baby almost every diaper change, because the thing with babies that nurse is it empties out of their stomach so fast,
Scott,
they constantly have a dirty diaper, and I just keep that on her and she's not had any problem at all.
I told Janie, we've been talking about buying an EpiPen just to have, because I probably need one just for safety, and any of our kids more than me for sure, but they don't usually come out when I'm messing with the bees, but we always talk about it. We probably need to invest in one.
So I said, how do y'all get a lot of honey? This year we got
22 gallons.
Roughly 22 gallons.
But that is our true only sugar. The only reason we have sugar, we keep organic sugar here for kombucha, and if we're making like a cake for like Salus cake yesterday, we made with sugar. But other than that, we use all honey for anything we're making. So Stacy says she's still waiting on the sourdough video. Actually, I've made it the last 2 times. It was actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. Clifford said when we were young, my sister was stung by one of the uncle's bees. He told her she killed his bee. She started crying. That's true. They're gonna give it their all. I told Misty, I said, I think every time I get stung, I think they're saying they're kamikazeing.
Have you ever put honey on your stings? I've heard
we have done that. I have done that. How heavy are the hives? Okay, so Miss Penny, if the hives are if they're full, meaning a deep, which is the bottom, which is the queen's area. Let me say it like that, and that's the bigger bodies, which are the 9 1/4 bodies. If they're full, meaning with bees and honey, they're easily 50 to 60 pounds. If you're honey super, if the smaller, the 5 1/4 or the 6 1/4, which is your honey boxes or your medium boxes, if those are full, they could easily still be 30 to 45 gallons. 45 pounds, sorry. So it depends. Like if I'm pulling a full honey super, I'm going to get anywhere from 3 to 5 gallons of honey off of it. Plus you have your bees in there. So you have to kind of get those off, but they can get very heavy. But we try to do it. We try to have an extra hive body to work it into, so it makes it a little bit easier.
My great granddad used to raise bees.
Lynn.
My grandmother told us the girls would have to brush the bees out of the hair before they came inside. That's crazy, but we had a bee experience kind of like that
with Harley.
But it wasn't a calm experience. It was Colby had just weed eated and mowed around the bees, and she didn't realize that. And we will walk around them or walk through them or whatever, and they won't bother you. But he had just ticked them off by cutting and weed eating, and she just didn't realize that and was going to run through them to where he was at, and they attacked her head.
It was bad.
It was bad. They got her several places on her back, several places in her hair, and are on her head, but then there were a lot still in her hair trying to get to her head.
This shows how much they love attacking me too. So then when we got to her, I was still my bee suit because I was running around the other way.
And they stung him.
So I took mine off to try to get, beat them off of her. Then they started attacking me. I got her inside, and then I started running through the yard because at this point I don't have my bee suit on. So that was a bad day.
Yeah, it was just not good.
Suzanne, we do sell honey locally. We used to sell a lot. We sold a ton. We do a lot of elderberry syrup with it, so we don't sell as much as we used to, but we still have some to sell if you want some locally.
Yeah.
Let's see. Miss Kathy said this summer I got stung and put calendula and moringa salve on it, and it went away after about 5 minutes. We have tons of
Wow.
moringa, so we could probably do that for sure.
I would really like that recipe if you made it or could tell me where you got it from. I would really like that recipe, Miss Kathy.
Simply Jan says cabbage. I didn't realize pulled out infection. The leaves pull out infection. My mama dog had mastitis, and it used that. They used that towards the infection. It worked fantastic. That's pretty cool.
You know, I learned because I'm also a nurse. I learned that if you freeze a cabbage, and yes, I had to do this with Aiden, unfortunately.
It's a personal experience with Misty.
That you can freeze cabbage and use the leaves to help prevent mastitis on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But beware, you need to wear a face mask.
Because you will smell.
You're going to stink. You will.
Hey, Tracy,
real.
how are you?
It smells like rotten cabbage. It's bad.
Fun times.
But
it does work.
How do you keep the cabbage leaves on? I don't know about an animal, but on a human, you just
have to put more clothes on to hold them on.
Yeah.
Misty did do that though.
I did. Again, going back to that crying baby, it was like I was crying, Aiden was crying, everybody was crying, and nursing just wasn't working. And yeah, I had to use the cabbage leaves, but you can put them in the freezer and get them out and use them. And yeah.
Fun times.
Might have been fun to you, but it wasn't fun to me. Mama always used tobacco and toothpaste.
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah, that's very common here, a very common thing here in the South. I don't know what ingredients would be in those things that would actually help.
I think that I always heard the nicotine, the tobacco, the natural nicotine in tobacco does help. I've heard people.
I don't know what ingredients would actually help, but
when I was 4 years old, got over 100 stings on my body of baking soda paste. That's crazy, Margie. We have some friends that used to be huge beef keepers. They actually bought some pigs from us last year, and they were huge beef farmers or bee apiary farmers. And so, I mean, huge. When I say huge, and they respected their bees, but they had probably double the triple number of the hives we had. And she got attacked. They just wore upper body coverings.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And she was wearing jeans, and so. I don't like wearing jeans because it's a darker color. So I know everybody's different, but I just usually wear khaki color or either Carhartt, like the duck color. And she got, I think it was like 150. Put her in the hospital, and it upset them so bad, and it gave her such a fear that they sold all their bees, and that was a big. I mean, that they had a business based on those bees. So it can happen. I mean, you have to. It's just like anything else. I always tell people, you got to respect them. It's like a bull. I love my bull. He is a gentle giant. I mean, he really is. I think I can go lay beside him, and I mean, he's just that way.
But
I still respect him. I never turn my back on him. Yeah. Three Musketeers, what's going on? How are you? But yes, so dark clothing does not work.
They do.
They do not like true. It. Like I used to wear a darker glove.
They would light him up.
And I'm telling you, they would tear me up.
That like just our hives are light, white, any light color.
Yeah.
Because they dark is not
black.
I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what the science is behind that. I actually really like to look that up because I'm like a nerd like that. I want to know the whys behind stuff. But that's yeah, they don't like dark colors.
Yeah, Brahmas especially, Tracy. We've always that Brahmas and jerseys. They always have a bad rep on kind of getting moody. But I mean, it's like anything else. You got to treat bees as a livestock, and you just got to watch them.
That's funny, Miss Lynn.
But I'll be honest with you. People talk about sheep, rams. Rams can be, I mean, they can be vicious too. Our ram is as nice as he can be, but now he'll take our weather, and they'll ram each other. I mean, they'll just constantly do this. And I know they're just playing, but that shows they got power. So I respect every one of our male animals on the farm. We respect very much.
Even Allie, and she's not a male.
Yeah.
But she's attitudinal too. Did
Well,
I
y'all
just make
saw
up
it.
another word?
Y'all saw Jennings. He freaked out about 2 videos ago
And I did pick him
with
up.
Joe,
He
Allie.
kept saying, "Hold me," and I was like, "I don't need to pick him up." And he was safe. He was up on the trailer, but he was just scared. But
And Allie wasn't
did.
coming over there.
No,
She
she
could care
wasn't.
less.
She was just. He doesn't really like her, and he was standing on the edge of the trailer, but he was scared, so I went ahead and picked him up, even though I wasn't supposed to.
Man, speaking of Allie, she has done phenomenally well with this freshening up. I checked her today, and she's just, I mean, this cow is just phenomenal. She has been a very, very good cow. She's very hardy. Her baby's hardy, you know, and they look good. But I tell you what, she's done really good. I was really worried about her because she stays pretty full when we milk her. She's not one of those ones who, I mean, she's a pretty fluent milker. So, but she's done really good. I'm kind of glad that she freshened up in winter because you know the grass is not thriving right now, so it helped us kind of ration her back down. So I thought that was good.
I will say this.
All the things acres. What's going on?
Y'all seen me getting the milk out of the freezer, or y'all saw me putting it in the freezer, excuse me. Y'all saw me loading that freezer up. Where's Levy, baby?
Oh, she's in the crib.
Was she asleep?
Okay.
Just had to check on the baby, make sure she was okay. She's sleeping though. So y'all saw me pulling that, y'all saw me putting that milk in. I've been taking it out. Freshening up means it's a period of time between when the cow needs to stop milking and when she has her calf.
7 months.
Yeah, around her 7th month of gestation, she needs to stop milking. That allows her body to be able to prepare to have her baby, and she needs her extra calories. She doesn't need that extra stress on her body during that last period of time. So pulling the milk out, it's been in Ziploc bags, which I'm not a crazy fan of Ziploc, but that was really the only way that we could store that amount of milk. And I have been having to put them in glass containers, and the milk will defrost, and my Ziploc bags are leaking.
Hey, little man,
So I have not been very happy with trying to. I told Colby this afternoon, I was like, I feel like I'm always messing with milk. I wish there was a better way to do it. If I put it in the refrigerators, it takes too long, and then we're without milk. So I have to leave it on the counter, and then it melts, and I don't really have anything big enough for the big globs to sit in and defrost other than just those little glass things. But I can't let them completely defrost in there because they're leaking, and it makes a mess. It's just like I told Colby earlier, I was like, I've got to figure out a better way to do this. So hopefully I'm going to get that figured out soon.
Scott, I know we talked about this a little bit a while ago. Flow hives to me are not worth the extra money. To me they put your hive in a vulnerable state because they pull out a little too much honey because you can't see what you got. So basically you're turning these knobs because you see it on this little fake plastic hive body, and I just personally don't like them. I think that it's worth the work to have the horizontal hive or the Langstroth hive. I mean, we use the Langstroth hive, which is basically the regular hive bodies. I think that you'd do better doing that versus the flow hives. I've never seen it. I'm talking about South Mississippi in a humidity area. I've never seen those flow hives work good season after season. One thing, they're made out of plastic, so those hive bodies, they get very, very heavy with bees and honey, and they just can't take the brunt. I mean, they just can't take the work. We've had plastic hive foundations before, not on purpose, but that's all Man Lake had one time. That's when we had the 20-something hives, and we had to get some hives bodies in. And those plastic frames didn't last a season. So I would challenge you not to go flow hives.
They didn't really seem to like that either very much. Like they didn't really seem to take to that.
No, they didn't like it at all. It was like
we've missed a lot of comments.
Yeah. Let's see. Yes, would they fit in a 9x13 pan? That's actually what we put them in.
That's what they are in, but the problem is they're not tall. So as they defrost, to have a gallon of milk in the tube, and as they defrost, they're leaking in the pan, and then it's making a mess. And I might could pull those big, huge stainless steel.
That's what I was thinking, but it's gonna be hard to pour it out. You just have to make sure you
Yeah,
have your
that's right.
colander out
It's
there.
gonna be hard.
Or
to
your milk
Well, when
strainer.
I pour, it's gonna like probably
Yeah.
try to pour into a wide stream. I've got to figure it out. We'll get it figured out. We've been doing that. We've been thawing it out for
A few days.
a few days now because she hasn't been milking, and then we're kind of caught up on the milk. So I just started pulling some bags out of the freezer. We've just got to get it figured out with the best way to be without it making such a mess.
Little Mountain Life, man. I hope we're doing good with our daily uploads. We try to do about 5 to 6 uploads a week, so it's crazy sometimes around here. Our problem is not content. Our problem is editing. I agree there because we have tons of content. It's just getting it all edited and put it up. Does the fresh milk taste anything like store-bought milk? Was wanting to try it, but didn't know. Because we don't do store-bought milk, and when you freeze store-bought milk, it does separate and it tends to be a little chalky, and it tends to be clumpy. This milk has been really good. Misty does strain it for the kids because some of that cream does coagulate just a little bit. It doesn't bother me, but it does bother
the crazy thing about it is I did a trial run with it, but
Hey,
the
Ellen.
milk that's been in there since October did get that
just
a little bit of that
small.
a little bit of separation, not nearly like the
Right.
store-bought milk did. I will say that, but I do strain it for them because they'll whine about
But
it.
I will say this, and I'll be honest with you. This morning, just like I was pouring a new thing because I take some to work for coffee and things like that. To me, our milk always tastes better anyway. I mean, just hands down, raw milk. But to me, it almost tastes sweeter. It's been sitting in there longer, and it's got that almost sweet butter taste, or it's like you can really taste the sweetness when it sits in the freezer. I might be wrong. It might just be in my head. To me, it's better though. I mean,
the hard thing about
really
breaking
is.
it up, Drops family, is that it's like in a big frozen brick.
Yeah.
So I have to put it in something to let it. I mean, I initially tried to just put it on the counter and was just going to kind of let it defrost and then put it over in like a pouring pitcher or
Hey,
like
Dorothy
a mason
Hendricks.
jar, a big mason jar. But then when
Hey,
I realized
Meemaws.
it was leaking so bad, that's when I put it in the glass containers. But it's
We just need to use those stainless steel bats.
that's
best thing.
probably what I need to do. But
And
pouring
see,
it out of
we're
that's going to be a
talking
nightmare.
we're talking massive amounts of milk. So when we say that, like I know we had a friend say, "Why don't we use ice trays?" Well, we have like 60 gallons worth of milk put up, and like Misty, I made a point. I said, it might be easier to put one bag out every 12 hours, but then we're constantly doing that rotation of milk. So we put out 2, which is a gallon of milk, or no, well, probably a little bit more than a gallon.
Well,
But we got to a gallon a day.
I put about a half a gallon in each Ziploc bag. So we have to pull at least 2 daily. It's just thawing them out with the bags leaking is the problem.
Yeah.
It's because they're leaking, and then anything that I put them in, it's not convenient to pour because I'm trying to pour in a mason jar. So it's been like we'll figure it out what's going to be the easiest way. But they're frozen in either I laid them down flat to freeze like this, or I had to stand them up and it's like a big brick of milk in the bottom. So it's just not
the stainless steel pans and also like the canners and all, like y'all were saying, they'll all work. Our biggest issue there is, are we going to waste when we're trying to pour it back out? So we do have some, a milk strainer that can help it get back into jars.
Because you're pouring from a big pan that doesn't have a type of lip on it into the top of a mason jar. And if the stream comes out bigger than the jar, then you've got milk going everywhere.
And milk for us right now, we're like, oh my gosh, it's like gold.
But we'll get it figured out.
What's so funny is we're rationing milk and we're still drinking a gallon.
That's a good idea to put it in another bag. I wonder if it would fit because the bottoms are so fat.
I don't think
I could try it though. That's a good idea. I could try it.
Thank y'all for all the ideas, though.
Yeah.
We're sure going to try some of them. So, I mean, our problem is good problems because, again, we're able to drink our own milk. And I was laughing today because I was thinking we're rationing and we're still drinking a gallon of milk a day.
But I did tell you, though, that I've been like on a breakfast I don't know what you would call it.
Hey, Diana,
I
how are
have
you?
made like 3 different batches of biscuits for breakfast
Yeah.
and put in the freezer. I've made 3 different batches of sausage balls and put in the freezer for breakfast. Tomorrow is muffin day.
Mm.
And I've done all of that so that when we start school back, I will have, because I'm going to be getting up with a newborn and a toddler, teaching 4 of the 6 kids
Miss
and
Vogue.
making
Hey,
3
Margie.
meals a day.
Hey, Vanessa.
So if I can prep and have some already in the freezer, all I have to do is pull them out. So I have been using a lot of milk these past few mornings cooking for next week breakfast, because that will just help me out when we start trying to kick school back off. I won't have to start from scratch. I'll have most of it already done.
D. Martin, we'll have to look into the 2-gallon bags. We had to order those because I imagine we can't find them
that's
here.
pretty cool.
Leslie, it's not that we wouldn't do the pictures. We almost did milk jugs, but because we have so much milk, it would take up so much room. We're already maxed out a 16-quart freezer
With just
full
milk.
of just milk.
Oh.
And we're going to try some of these other things y'all are saying, though. Can you start your yogurt with milk kefir as a culture? I think you'd have more of a kefir. You definitely need to start off with a true raw.
Where do you see that at?
That would be Kim. I'm not saying you can't do that, but kefir and yogurt, even though they're very close, they're very different. So I would start with the yogurt culture. Personally, that's just me. We did, and we love our yogurt. Actually, we don't eat our yogurt raw as much as we put it in smoothies and stuff. So we enjoy ours. Now kefir would work perfect for that because kefir is more liquid.
Is it
typically.
chocolate biscuits or chocolate gravy? I've heard of chocolate gravy.
Yeah. I've never liked that, but
I've never tried it.
Misty would probably like it because she absolutely loves chocolate. Hey, Simply Southern Roots. Let's see. Yeah, we need to try for the 2-gallon bags. That's pretty cool. 3 Musketeers said, I only have 1 child. I could barely manage your super mom. So
Well, I definitely don't consider myself that, but I'm just trying to prep next week because we're going to be kicking off school next week. And I know getting up, trying to make breakfast, get everybody's schoolwork done, get everybody to piano and gymnastics class and everything else. And fix meals. And I'm principal, cafeteria lady, teacher, shell, janitor.
Kim, you said you watched our yogurt video. We've made yogurt 3 ways. I hate to say this, but the yogurt video we did is the way that anybody can make it because everybody has an oven. The second way, if you have an Instapot, it's got a yogurt setting on it. We did it that way. It wasn't our favorite, but we did it that way. Our favorite way so far has definitely been our dehydrator. We have a I don't even know what
the difference.
What's our dehydrator called?
An Excalibur. But the difference is I like to put beef gelatin.
And that was not in that video, by the way.
It was not in the video, but I could not get my yogurt consistent every single time, like the Jell-O feel every single time, which is what my kids really liked. So I did some research and
all right, Miss Darling,
found that you could use beef gelatin, natural beef gelatin, and add it into the yogurt when it's on the stove and you're stirring. And
I could not eat chocolate gravy.
And it makes the consistency perfect almost every single time.
Thank y'all so very much for being on. We always start talking way too much. So the dehydrator does work better to me than and even in this spot
so what he was saying about the dehydrator is that it has a setting on it for
it's just an easy thing.
It's a setting for yogurt, so it gets it just at the right temperature. Does it say yogurt on there? It says yogurt on there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know on Instapot it does. I don't know about the Excalibur.
I think it does. It has like herbs, whatever,
the beef
yogurt,
gelatin. If you like in thick
meat.
Yogurt, get the beef gelatin.
Yeah.
You get an organic beef gelatin. I mean, just
it helps tremendously. Y'all know I'm not a measurer, and I've really never messed up the consistency.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I've done it, and I've just used a whisk and whisk it in, and it's done great.
All right, guys, we got to go for the night. Thank y'all so much. I'm sorry we held y'all for a little bit longer, but thank y'all for staying with us.
Absolutely.
Again, this week we've got the pig videos coming up. You'll see a lot of pig videos. You'll see some cattle videos moving around, checking on Allie, making sure she's okay. We've got hopefully bringing the new cows back to our homestead from the beef farm. We had a little baby calf born up there. It was Dad's, so y'all see a little footage probably on it because I'll need to go check it. So a lot coming up this week. A lot of content. We hope y'all enjoy it. Thank y'all so much for watching and always commenting. It means the world to us. We do literally read every comment. We do literally comment to every person, and we really try to make it very personal. Thank y'all so much. God bless.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading.
Happy homesteading, y'all.